everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. I'm sorry, I know, I look a hot mess. I am 34 weeks pregnant and today has just been one of those days. I'm so happy because I have new windows being installed today and Lily smudged some of the caulking. She got a hold of a taper candle and beat the cat with it today, and she also went through a whole box of tissues and threw them on the floor. And I'm slightly sleep deprived and I have a lot of videos to edit. We still have a smile on our face, but we also have some bags under our eyes. Also, Lily is now very much a toddler, and so she has to be with me all the time or she's crying. So she's looking at a book right now while we film this intro. Today's soap is the February fan design. Now I know that the video is technically going live in March, but it was made in February and it's going live in the March release per usual. This design was submitted by Krista. She called it Thunderstorm. It is such a neato design. I absolutely dig it. I'm having to look to make sure it's still in focus. So she said maybe a drop swirl of blues in there to kind of look like teardrops, then a light gray frosting or white frosting, and then she gave me some embed ideas as well. And I actually did two different styles with this soap. I did one that actually created a teardrop sort of raindrop shape, and then I also did a drop swirl like she said right here on her piece of paper. Krista, thank you so much for submitting your design. If you guys would like to design a soap for Royalty Soaps, and maybe I will pick it one month and make it and send you a free bar, you can see how to do that down in the description box below. It has instructions. Also, if you do submit a design, be sure you put your mailing address on the back of every single piece of design paper that you send in. That way, 100% for sure, you will get the bar shipped to your address, because before I implemented this rule, like with this soap right here, there's no shipping address, and so I'm going to have to find her manually. Krista, if you're watching, please email support@royaltysoaps.com so we can get you your soap. Whew! That was a very long intro. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, there's one for Royalty Soaps, there's one for my personal stuff, and my brother Kenny now has one as well. I'll leave you guys some links down below. And this soap will be available to purchase on March 4th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time at royaltysoaps.com. So without further ado, let's make some soap. We are going to begin by pouring our lye water solution into our oils, pouring it down the stick blender to help avoid air bubbles. And we're gonna blend until just past emulsion, and I do mean just past emulsion. It's gonna be really watery. Emulsion being reached, we're gonna pour off a teeny tiny bit of this soap, just about this much, and then we're gonna use this container to fill these two. In these two squirt bottles, I have some baby blue mica and some midnight crystal mica. Both of those are from Nurture. And I'm gonna take off the lids we have here. By the way, these little bitty containers are from a company called SKS Packaging. I will leave you guys a link down below. And we're gonna fill them to the 3-ounce mark, almost exactly the same. I'm not gonna shake them up yet because I wanna make sure that the base soap is all ready to go before I mix the colorant into these. So we're just gonna set them off to the side. And the base soap is gonna be gray, like a Thunderstorm. And we're gonna use antique silver to achieve the gray color. Antique silver is from TKB Trading. And let's blend that color in with our stick blender. And now that the color is in, we're going to add the fragrance oil blend. It is a secret sauce blend that we use for the River Song Diamond Soap, perfume oil, and body lotion. So if you've been itching to get that fragrance in a cold process soap, this one's for you. The fragrance oil is in, so it is time to start pouring into our 2 brambleberry molds. I'm gonna pour this first layer out of the container, and then the next ones I'm gonna pour out of smaller containers so it doesn't mess up the design. And after I screwed on the lids for these 2 accent colors, it's time to shake them up Then we're gonna squirt in a thin line of this dark blue on either side of the soap. You can see that going in. And then we're gonna pour right down the middle a thin line of the blue soap, light blue anyway. And then we're gonna pour over it some of the gray soap. So we're gonna ideally try to get this to sit on top. Pour in a whole nother little layer here. Our soap is still nice and liquidy, so I do expect for the design to do exactly as I want it to. I'm not gonna tap that down. I'm just gonna go right in now with that light blue, squirt pretty hard. This one I'm worrying less about it being even. And while these may not look like perfect teardrops, in fact they certainly won't, our goal is really just to get some lines of different colored blues because they are supposed to be representing rain. And if you wanted absolutely perfect teardrops, you could use the teardrop mold from Wholesale Supplies Plus. And once again, we're gonna go in with the very last bit of gray. Just cover that up a little bit. Scrapey, scrapey our containy. And after I finish scraping, we are gonna mix up the soap frosting. I have my piping all set up and ready to go. It's a little bit lighter than the soap on the inside, and it will continue to lighten just slightly as it sits here and hardens. So I'm gonna start by piping on an angle. This is supposed to look like a cumulonimbus cloud or a thunderstorm cloud. For those of y'all who are not science freaks, I'm actually not a science freak, and that is the only cloud name I can remember. Is that true? Am I lying right now? Let's see. I can remember a stratus cloud. I remember cumulonimbus, and that's it. So essentially it's supposed to look like the big fluffy ones. That's what I'm saying. It's a big fluffy cloud. Points for people out there that can name all of them though. Can you name more than just cumulonimbus and stratus off the top of your head? Okay, so let's start on that second little piping bit. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna look sort of cloudish by the time I get done with it. And I just wanted to say that I have quite a variety of different types of videos planned for the coming months. I know that February and January are basically all soap videos, but I do have some more like testing kids kits. I have some other bath bomb press videos that are all in the hopper. I have some more DIYs, some more Royal Soap Making Academy videos. It's all, or the Royal Creative Academy, whatever I decided to call it, I don't know. It's late, you guys. Also really sorry if you can hear that dishwasher going in the background. I have tried to figure out how to turn it off, and Caleb was being so nice to me by turning it on, but now I don't know how to turn it off, and so it's just gonna have to make noise in the background. I just wanted y'all to know that I am listening to y'all. I am taking your recommendations into consideration. You have to remember that by the time the video goes live, it has probably been filmed far, far in advance. So it might be a while until you see some of the items you've requested. Okay, so now I'm gonna put a little dollop in the middle here. Kind of fill it in on top. Doesn't really matter if there's like little holes on top because I have one more teeny tiny round to go if I have enough piping left over. Okay, last teeny little bit left. I'm just gonna put a little teeny, oh it's so small, just the tiniest of dollops on one side. And now I flipped it around and I'm gonna connect the teeniest, tiniest of dollops on the other side. Now that all the piping is done, I'm gonna take a little toothpick and I'm gonna knock down any little spiky bits that may be there. And I think this is gonna make it look just in general more like a cloud. Wow, that actually looks really cool to swirl the top. I'll have to remember that. This next part I cannot take credit for because it wasn't my idea. It was totally Caleb's idea. I was looking at the design on top and Krista mentioned maybe putting like a raindrop embed or maybe like a lightning embed, and I liked that, but I wanted to keep it simple because I liked the inside of her soap so much that I didn't want any of the embeds to draw away from it. So I was like, Caleb, what should I do to kind of jazz up the Thunderstorm on top? And he said, add some sea salt to represent hail. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put some sea salt on top, and this is supposed to remind you of hailstones during the thunderstorm, which, by the way, so scary. If you've ever actually had like hail come down, sometimes here in Texas they get to be as big as baseballs or tennis balls. Absolutely frightening. But it looks really cool on a soap. And then we are gonna take some large hollow glitter and we're gonna douse it. To remind you what? I don't know, that rainbows come after thunderstorms? I don't know, that's a pretty cheery way to look at it. And if you liked this soap up until the point that I added the glitter, well, I've got good news for you. It washes off and it's biodegradable. I am gonna spritz the top with rubbing alcohol, and that's it. February's fan design is complete. I saw it, I liked it, I made it, I'll cut it tomorrow after 24 hours and this quick commercial break. We are back the next day to cut the Thunderstorm soap. So I am gonna line this up with my multi-bar cutter. Actually, I'll turn it on its side because there's some salt on it. Press down. And then we're gonna take a bar out of the middle. So this is what the soap ended up looking like in the middle. As you can see, using the little squeezy bottle, we were able to create things that look very similar to raindrops. Had I opened up the squeezy bottle a little bit more and used more of my batch to create the teardrops, we'd have even more of them in there than we do right now. Another way to get the perfect raindrop shape would be to use the raindrop silicone mold that you can get at Wholesale Supplies Plus. And so after making this soap, even though I did like it, I felt like it was a little bit plain when all was said and done. Had I added a few more drops here and there, that definitely would have helped with the gray base and the gray frosting. I felt like we just needed a little more color, so I upgraded it just a little bit. And we took the Thunderstorm soap from looking like this with the clear sort of hailstones on top and the few little drops of rain and turned it into something a little more like this. So a lot more blue, the gray is a little bit darker, the drop swirl is sort of all over the place, so you've got a lot more color in there. And then on the top, we colored the salts, we put on some colored glitters, and you can just see that all in all, there's a lot more color over the entire bar. I think both designs are interesting, both designs are unique, but I feel like this one is a little more reflective of what the artist had in mind. The fragrance I kept the same through both batches, and for the future, if you would like to do something with this raindrop or teardrop looking shape, make sure that your soap is a slow moving fragrance oil, that your recipe is also a very slow moving recipe. Mine worked relatively well. It did get a little bit thick, and if I had used, say, more olive oil in my batch, maybe added a little more water, it would have stayed fluid for even longer. But you guys know I really like the recipe that I use. I've been using it for years. I like the rate at which it sets up, and personally it's just what I'm more comfortable with, and I just like adding a little bit more color to my soaps, and my customers seem to like that too. So Caleb is here with the question of the day for us.
Assuming that they're both functioning limbs, would you rather have 3 arms or 3 legs?
3 legs, I could run really fast. But wait, 3 arms means I could hold more things at once.
Yes, you could.
All right, never mind, 3 arms. What about you?
I'd probably pick 3 arms.
And once again, we agree. What miracle is this? Twice in a month. To vote on the question of the day is actually super simple. All you have to do is click the eye in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. We want to know, Would you rather have 3 arms or 3 legs? I hope you guys really love what I did with these bars. I can tell you they smell absolutely incredible. If you like what you saw today, including my greasy roots and crazy hair, you can subscribe to the channel, and if notifications don't bother you, you could also click the notification bell. Once again, the soap will be available to purchase on March 4th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've been your host today at Royalty Soaps. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point. Mama! Yes. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, whether that is, oh my gosh, just taking a nap, or finding a new game to play with your toddler because you've run out of ideas of how to keep them out of trouble. Either way, do something that makes you happy. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.